Hey guys, I'm Akhilesh and welcome to Sync with Azure channel. This is part 4 of Azure tutorials for beginners. In this video, we will learn about the benefits of Azure Resource Groups. In the previous video, we have learned about what are Azure resources and resource groups. I strongly recommend to watch that video if you do not. Now, we will discuss about the benefits of Azure Resource Groups. The main benefits of Azure Resource Groups are administration is much easier. Let us understand this with an example. Consider a virtual machine. When we create a virtual machine in Azure, several other resources are created automatically, like data disks, public IP addresses, network interface, network security groups, and virtual networks. Without these resources, an Azure virtual machine does not work as expected. Suppose you are done with the VM. Now you wanted to delete it to save the cost. However, you have deleted the virtual machine, but the associated resources are not being deleted. At this point, you will be paying the extra cost for which you are not even using that resource. So resources needs to be deleted manually. Now let us quickly discuss in action. I will switch back to the portal. I will show you the benefits of Azure Resource Group by creating a virtual machine. You could create virtual machine from typing here, or you could go to more services and select virtual machine. I am creating from here. Once you landed on this page, it will ask you for few details like subscription, resource group, virtual machine name, image as well as size. Size varies on your requirement. So if you remember about the subscription, I have discussed about the subscription in Azure tutorials for beginners in part 2. I strongly recommend to go and watch that video. Now coming to resource group, I have already discussed this resource group as well as in part 3 of Azure tutorials. I will select the existing resource group which we have already created in part 3. Now I will provide the virtual machine name. VA is virtual machine name, sync with Azure is my application name, and dev is my development environment. Now you could select multiple images which are already existing. I have selected the Windows Server 2022 and size, as I said, you can select any size as per your requirement. Now I need to enter the username and password which we can by which we can access the virtual machine. Now click on review plus create. Yeah, validation succeeded. Now click on create. It will take few minutes of time, but it will try to deploy under the resource group. We can see progress from here. That the deployment is succeeded. Now I will navigate to the resource group. If you remember that I've just created the virtual machine, but internally it created the other resources as well. Because to work the virtual machine properly, it requires these all resources like public IP address, network security group, virtual network, network interface, and disk. Suppose my work with the virtual machine is done. So I want to delete it to reduce my cost. When I select and delete the virtual machine, it, it will not delete the other resource group which it created while creating the virtual machine. To delete the other resources, you need to select them manually and then delete them. Like this, you can delete all the resources to reduce the cost. Now, if you don't want to select the each individual resource and delete, you could also delete by selecting the delete resource group. When you delete this resource group, all the associated resources all automatically deleted. Now, if you want to learn about the cost management, you just click on cost management and then go to cost analysis. It will show you which resource is consuming what cost. Now, if you see the service name is storage, it is costing 0.01. And for this central, this is the location and the resource. The storage account is costing 0.01. This is how we can track the cost analysis for the resources. So, handle the access control at the resource group level itself. You can role the assignments like which developer can see what. We can assign the access control from here itself. You can see role assignments or the roles whichever you want you can select and provide them. This is how the role access works on the resource group level. Now conclusion. When we use the resource group, we need not to delete the resource manually. Without the resource group, development and deployment will be critical and time consuming. Cost management is much easier. Role-based access controls can be applied at the resource group level as we saw. Resource group offers great benefits to the developers and administrators. That is it in this video. Thank you for listening.